Next up, one pretty quick topic, which is CSS inheritance. It's something that we've actually seen in practice, even if we haven't explicitly called it out yet. It's just the fact that some CSS properties will be inherited by child elements if they're not set on that element specifically. So I'll show you what I mean in this new demo that I've made. It's nothing fancy. It's just some basic HTML, no styles yet. It's in a new folder. I called it Inheritance Demo, if you want to follow along with the code. So we've got the body, an H1, and then a section that has an H2 and 2 paragraphs, and then another section with another H2 and a form with a label, input, and button. Okay, so if I go to my app.css, which I've already included, it's empty, and if I give the body a color, let's start with color, just text color. So color is, let's do purple, just like that. What do you expect to see when I refresh here? The body element itself has no text directly inside of it like this, but it has a bunch of elements. Given that this video is on inheritance, you may have gathered that these elements will inherit that purple color if we have not explicitly set a color on them. So if I, style an H1 and I give it a color, of course, we've already seen this color, how about blue here? That H1 is blue. So that is not inherited from a parent, that is set specifically on the H1. And if I open up my DevTools here, go to Elements, and we look at, how about this section here, maybe that H2 right there. If you want to know where that purple color is coming from, we don't see color purple set anywhere here on H2. But if we scroll down, inherited from body, color purple. So that's how the DevTools handle inherited properties. You can play with them. You can change those colors. You could do teal instead and see what happens. So inheritance continues to work. Let's say I take each section and I give them a color. How about aqua? Just like that. We look at our markup. We have two sections. Here's one and here's another. So they have content inside of them. And let's just refresh and you'll see what happens. The H1 still has no color set on it explicitly. I removed that blue color. So it inherits purple from the body. And then these elements don't have a color set explicitly. So they inherit from the closest parent that does have a color set. So they could inherit purple from the body, but there's a closer element, the section here, and this section that has a color set on it. So I could do one more level, right? I could set this form to have a color. Form color will be, how about a green color? Like green, yellow, sure. And I'm going to refresh, and you'll see that this label does inherit that color, but these two elements don't, the two form controls. So we have a text input, and we have, well, actually, just to demonstrate for sure that the color is not inherited there. This is placeholder, which is different, but here's text. This is what would change if the color was green. And this button doesn't change either. Oh no, I submitted my form. So why is that happening? Well, certain elements don't inherit things by default. And if you want them to, there is a workaround. It's not that common to do this, but I could select my button, just as an example, and I can set the color property to the keyword inherit. And I can actually do this for any property. I can set it to inherit. And if I refresh, oof, it's a little horrible to look at, but it does inherit that color. And I could do the same thing for this input. Input, that's all inputs. Set that color to green, and there we go. Well, I'm not setting it to green. I'm setting it to inherit from whatever the nearest parent is that has a color. So if I got rid of this, what color are they going to be now? Well, they're in a section, so they're going to have that aqua color. And if I got rid of that, they're going to inherit from the body, because everything's in the body. So not every element will inherit every property. As we just saw, for color on a button and input, we had to explicitly set color to inherit. Not super common, but I just wanted to show you that you can. Also, not every single property on Earth will be inherited anyway. Some of them are not inheritable. If you take a look at any property on MDN, we haven't actually covered border yet, but it does what it sounds like. It makes a border on elements. And if you scroll down, there's always this blue little box here of additional information or special, properties. And if you look for inherited, it says no for border. But if we look at another property like color and we scroll down, where are you? Here we are, inherited, yes. So if you ever have questions, you can look at that, but you'll also just figure it out over time that certain elements or certain properties are inheritable and others aren't. That's all I want to say for now. Just a quick demonstration. Okay, so that's inheritance.